Hi everyone. Today is our last presentation on air conditioning. We've already posted two presentations in the last two Sundays. We had explained how a window AC works, how a split unit works in the first video. And in the next video, we had explained how a VRV system works and how a ductable split unit system works. Today, we are going to touch upon the last topic, how a chilled water air conditioning system works. The first one is a chilled water air conditioning system which is water cooled, and this needs a cooling tower. And the second one is a chilled water air conditioning system which is air cooled. This does not need an cooling tower. The concept of this system of chilled water air conditioning is very simple. But the procedure to explain this is long. So have patience with me for the next 5 minutes or so. I will need to take an example of a project we are doing. It is a temple in Haryana. It's a 4-story structure, as you can see in the section. We need to air condition the 3 main floors, and the air conditioning plant room is in the basement, which contains the chiller unit. One other additional element is needed in this system, and that is a cooling tower. This cooling tower in our case is placed far away at the rear end of the site. Since this has a cooling tower, this is a water cooled system. Now, what exactly happens in a chilled water air conditioning system? How is the heat from inside thrown outside? This is like a relay race. One person hands the baton to the next person, and that next person hands it over to the next person. The baton here is heat in our case. Here, one component, which is the indoor unit, hands over the heat to the next component, which is the evaporator. This heat is further handed over to the next component, which is the condenser, and this heat is further handed over to the cooling tower, which dissipates it into the atmosphere. Now let us understand how each of this transfer takes place. Chilled water reaches the AHU, which is the air handling unit, which is like a large indoor unit with a filter, a cooling coil, and a blower, like we have in a ductable split unit. This is the chilled water cycle. There may be several AHUs on each floor. We shall talk about only one AHU at present. Let us look at what is happening inside this AHU. The chilled water enters the AHU coil, you can see there. The temperature of this water before it enters the coil is approximately 6 degree to 7 degree. The warm air of the hall enters the AHU through a filter and passes over this cooling coil. The chilled water absorbs the heat of the air and its temperature rises to around 12 to 15 degrees centigrade. It takes this absorbed heat and brings this heat to the plant room. This finishes the chilled water cycle. Now we were talking about one AHU, but if the building may have 20 AHUs on all these 3 floors, then all this warm water returns to the plant room via vertical pipes, which are called risers. So we have completed the first step. Heat from the floor AHUs has reached the plant room in the basement. This water had gone at 6 degrees centigrade to 7 degrees centigrade and came back at 12 degrees centigrade to 15 degrees centigrade. Now, what happens inside the plant room? The chiller consists of 2 parts. One, the evaporator, and the other, is the condenser. The transfer of heat from the evaporator to the condenser is similar to the transfer of heat from the cooling coil to the condenser of a window unit. In the window unit AC, heat is being transferred by refrigerant to the outside unit and thrown into the atmospheric air. And in case of chiller, the heat transferred is also done by a refrigerant and a compressor, but heat is being transferred from water to the water. Heat in a chiller is transferred from one cycle of water, which is the chilled water cycle we have explained, to the other cycle of water where the heat is being sent to the cooling tower. That is the last cycle to transfer this heat from the condenser to the cooling tower. This water is at around 32 degree centigrade when it starts moving from the condenser to the cooling tower and comes back from there, from the cooling tower at around 27 degrees centigrade. So, how does the cooling tower cool the water from 32 degrees centigrade to 27 degrees centigrade? Let us study the cooling tower and how it works in detail. This is the most important final baton transfer of heat. Let's look at the inside of the cooling tower. The water at 32 degrees centigrade at the top of the cooling tower, this is sprayed through nozzles as shown in the diagram. There is a large fan at the top which is supposed to suck the air from below and throw it up into the atmosphere. And there is a PVC filling in the central portion. Air enters from the lower end, from all sides of the cooling tower and is being sucked up by the fan above. Hot water at 32 degrees centigrade is being sprinkled from top and its speed is reduced by that PVC filling so that its contact time with the air coming from below increases. This air thus picks up the heat from the water and moves up towards the fan. The water loses its heat and drops down into the tank. The temperature of this water has reduced to 27 degrees centigrade. So let's now repeat the process of how heat is transferred from all the floors in the building into the atmosphere. And now it actually seems so simple. The AHU transfers the heat via chilled water to the plant room. In the plant room, the chiller transfers the heat from this water from the evaporator to the condenser by a refrigerant, and water from the condenser is taken to the cooling tower which releases the heat into the atmosphere. This diagram shows these cycles very clearly. Now let us look at the plant room layout in our temple project, which may seem very complicated, but concept wise it is quite simple. In the plan, let us first identify the chiller units. There are two chiller units, in this case of 200 tons each, shown in blue. Water at 5 degree centigrade to 7 degrees centigrade comes out of this chiller in the yellow colored pipe, and this rises to the floors above to the AHUs via a shaft which is near the staircase. This water comes back with the heat from the AHUs at 12 degree to 15 degrees centigrade via the red pipes. See the red pipes. The water is being sucked back by the pumps which are in the plant room and which are marked as P1, P2, P3 and pushed towards the chiller. This cycle is complete. This is the first cycle. The second cycle is happening inside the chiller unit, where the refrigerant and the compressor are transferring the heat from the evaporator to the condenser. The green pipe is getting the 27 degree centigrade water from the cooling tower via the pumps P4, P5 and P6 as shown in the diagram, and this enters the condenser. After entering the condenser, this picks up the heat and takes it via the pink pipe back to the cooling tower at 32 degree centigrade. This was the third cycle. And the fourth cycle of transferring the heat from the water into the atmosphere is happening in the cooling tower. It is that simple. I have always made it clear all along, even in my previous videos, that we are architects and we need to understand only the concepts and provide all the areas required for its smooth functioning. The system is to be designed by the HVAC consultant. But we have to have provision of space for the plant room in our building. We have to provide a shaft for vertical movement of the pipes for all floors. We have to provide space for the cooling towers. We have to provide space for AHUs, and we have to provide fresh air also to the AHU. We as architects have to decide where we have to position the cooling tower, and for doing that, we must know the system thoroughly. Though conceptually it all is very simple, but while planning all this, we have to coordinate the piping on all the floors going to the AHUs simultaneously with the firefighting piping. These firefighting pipes are a jungle of pipes leading to the sprinklers. You can see there, all the sprinklers are marked. Then, as per the design of the ceiling, we have to discuss the routes of the ducts, which are shown there, in consultancy with the HVAC consultant. And also ensure that we don't lose the height of the floor and maintain our ceiling design too. Yes, that is not easy. So, coordination is the architect's job, and that is the reason he is supposed to be the leader. And all this is to be planned even before the final structure drawings are ready, since some pipes may have to go through the beams. In this case, our firefighting pipes are going through the beams. The client sometimes does not understand the immense amount of work involved even before the structure is erected. So, there is always a tussle with the client to explain this to him. In this system, a cooling tower was used to throw the air into the atmosphere. So, it is called water cooled. In case of air cooled system, the heat is directly thrown from the chiller into the air. Hence, we can't keep the chiller in the basement. We have to keep it on the roof mostly, or any other space outside the building. Now we have understood the chilled water air conditioning system thoroughly, and I think this may have left you exhausted. In office, when I teach this to the interns, we take small intervals, I pull their legs, we share jokes and eat snacks too. But yes, some topics are not fun in online study. Personally, I feel an online study educational talk should not stretch for more than 10 to 12 minutes. Hence, I think we will need one more video to learn about how to air condition special areas like operation theaters and high-end medicine factories. Again, the credit for the designing of all these systems goes to our HVAC consultant, which is Syntex Air Flow Systems, owned by Mr. Ajay Mangla, and his right hand man, Mr. Vikas Agarwal, who has been coordinating the intricate projects like this medicine factory too. This time, I did not discuss the questions I received, but I know you will have questions for this video also. So we shall discuss these together in the next video. Please do send them on the email ID mentioned below with your name, photo and mobile number. We shall choose the 3 most relevant questions and answer them in our next video. The credit for compiling this again goes to the group of interns of 2019 batch and the efforts of my office team too, who have really coordinated with me so well, Pooja, Shubham and Monica. And lastly, Siddharth, again for shooting the video and editing it with so much patience, and also my daughter Neha, a genius at digital marketing, for uploading this video. I am really blessed to have a great team. So till our next video, bye, take care.